Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. Today we're going to talk about Carnival Row, the brand new Amazon series that came out about 11 o'clock last night, Central Standard Time, in my neck of the woods. And I was curious. I like Orlando Bloom. Cara Delevingne, I can't do the last name. I don't want to butcher it. But I was curious. I wanted to see what this was like. It's got a fantasy element. I like this stuff, And this is a review in progress. Right now, I've just gone through the first 5 episodes, and then we'll jump back to the last 3 a little bit later in this video. When I'm done, I'm gonna pause it and come back, and we'll talk about it. But so in this show, Orlando Bloom plays this guy who is a soldier in this fantasy world where there's fairies and pucks and little things called kobolds, and it's a mixture of our world and their world, that kind of thing, kind of turn of the century, kind of steampunk, kind of industrial revolution. You know, it's a lousy, dirty place now. We don't even get to see, like, again, it's one of those shows that shows us the after everything, used to be pretty and beautiful, and men are here, and of course men are bad. Man, I should say, man is bad, and our wars came and destroyed the fairy world, and there's some weird looking werewolves that look like shaved dogs. But it has a good cast. Like I said, I like Orlando Bloom. Jared Harris, who's really great in just about everything's in this. Indira Varma from Game of Thrones is in this. She was Lady Sand on Game of Thrones. And there's a couple. Simon McBurney is in this as a kind of an interesting little side. Like, he's got a little, not a puppet show, but he uses these little creatures called. Oh God, I just said their name a few minutes ago. They're almost like little puppets, and he uses them in a little show, and he has a kind of an interesting side story. And there's like this mystery about this kind of golem monster that's been here killing people, and but there's in the first 5 episodes, right? What this really all is fairy sex and racism and intolerance. It's cliched. It's got mostly paper thin characters, and while the performances, for the most part, from at least Orlando Bloom, Jared Harrison, and Indira Varma, uh, they're good. The performances are good, and the world building is interesting. But they stray so far away from the mystery part of this to tell all these like stories that just have been done to frickin' death, and especially lately, it's just so bleak, so dour. The characters aren't fun to follow. It's just a bunch of bad. There's a lot of stuff out there right now that, while like shows like The Boys are, it's really dark. I enjoy that on a different level. It's kind of entertaining. Some of the characters are fun to watch. Nobody in this is fun to watch. Nobody. Not a single person. Even Jared Harris, man, who's, usually a very interesting character to watch, is just a pawn in somebody else's game. And to what end? And so far, 5 episodes in, there's just so many scenes that just are boring. This long, we're racist to them, and we're racist to them, and blah, blah, and just, like, there's a side character of a rich family that's, like, lost all their money, and now they're using a puck that moved in as a way to gain some status back in their own family, and they're using him, but he's using them at the same time, and they're not interesting. They're characters that we've seen over and over, and lately, it seems we've been getting beaten over the head with these kind of storylines that just I you can watch any show and practically get the same kind of story these days, where it's just downbeat note after downbeat note. post-apocalyptic, just it's not the way you really want to spend your holidays. What I'm saying. If you're a diehard fantasy fan and you just go, I don't care what it's about, I just want my fantasy fix, you'll probably really like this. And I'm going to finish it. And while I know on my top three most anticipated shows video I just did, I said I wasn't, I'm kind of done binging. And I have been watching this because it's my day off, but I'm doing it in bed. I'm doing it in bed, and I'm sitting through scenes and fast forwarding through scenes that I know are going nowhere. So I'm getting through this pretty well. I mean, I started watching it last night. I got up really early and kept on watching this, so I figured I could be done by noon and have the rest of my day. Um, and also because I lost a subscriber today that's been a loyal one, and because of the idea that I might not be doing Doctor Who videos anymore, this loyal subscriber just bounced and said, "See you when the Expanse comes back," and I'm like, okay, thanks a lot. And so that has nothing to do with this. It's just it's bugging me, and but it doesn't affect my review of this. But so far, it's just nothing special. Like I said, there's a lot of gratuitous sex where, hey, like if you want to see Cara Della or whatever, she's very beautiful and she's very naked. But honestly, it's so what? So what? It's fairy sex. Fairies are fucking ooh, like ooh, this taboo, this. I mean, if that's where you get your kicks, then fine, whatever. Um, but so far, like there's this Jerry Harris's plot is just like I thought that was going to be really interesting, and really you can just see where it's going from a mile away. And there's this girl character, right? That's the daughter of this man who is killed, who's like important in politics. In this world, though, if fantasy characters, like the fairies and the pucks and everything, they're looked down on. They are, highly discriminated against, if not outright hated. Crimes are committed against them. You know, they mutilate their own bodies so that they can live amongst us better. They're thought of as like barely human, and then right under that level is how the society thinks of women. Yet this girl walks into their, let's say it's a parliament after her father died, and nobody's blinking an eye that he's died, under the government's watch. But she walks in there and just gives this speech about something that was just I kind of tuned out because I was thinking, how is she doing this? Why are like any other circumstances? Because the show has shown how they feel about women. They talk down to them, they treat them poorly. Yet she walks into this room and just captivates the whole place with a little speech because they want to get this message across. That ooh, I am woman, hear me roar, but it's forced. And just suddenly they are all won over by this like little bullcrap speech she gives. And like the brothel owner, okay? Orlando Bloom plays an inspector who is known throughout the city. The entire city, cops and criminals and low life people and regular people, they all know him. But the owner of the biggest fairy brothel in the area does not know who he is. What? Well, it's possible. It's very unlikely and only used as like a plot device, or not even a plot device, just a story beat to like for no real reason. So I'm going to pause the review here, and I'm going to finish watching the last 3 episodes, and I'll be back to see if it gets any better, because, I mean, there are some interesting things here. The gore is pretty good when it's there. The mystery of who's controlling this Gollum character and why, that's interesting. But that's this much of this damn story. While they're trying to tell things that are supposed to, resonate today. But you can watch this in Orange is the New Black. You can watch this on hell, The Expanse, which is way better. You can watch what else? There's just so many shows that just have these same messages that it's just like, could somebody at least make a show that's entertaining? Make this at least entertaining. But so far, it's a drag, and I'm wanting to get it over with as soon as possible. Now, look, again, so far this is just my opinion. Maybe they'll turn it around in the next 3 episodes, but If you like it, fine, man. It's fine. It's not the worst thing I've seen all year, but it's a bit of nothing. It reminds me of, Captain Marvel, where it's just like, oh, that's all right. I don't ever need to see that again. You know what I mean? So anyway, and so we'll be back. We'll be back to finish the next three and see if my opinion of this changes. All right. So what was in a blink of an eye for you guys was a little while for me to finish this. And so here's the final parts. Okay, we watched 6, 7, and 8 of the show. This show is bad Shakespeare trying to be the next Game of Thrones, and it fails miserably. It's definitely better than shows like Another Life, because that's just garbage from the ground up. This has good performances, and it's got a great world. Okay, so if you want to take some positives, some of the performances are really good, but in the world building, and the way it looks, and the special effects, and the gore, all that stuff, and and unlike Another Life, the sex scenes are sex scenes. Now, are they weird? Goat people fucking girls and people fucking fairies and whatever. If that's what you want, man, you're gonna get it, and that's fine. It is completely, it's trashy, but for some people, it's gonna be awesome, and that's fine. But this is like if you release. This is like this Labor Day weekend, man. You want to be entertained. This isn't. I don't know. It's like watching a Halloween movie at Christmas. Um, and every plot line is so predictable. There's an incest plot in here. We're gonna get into some spoilers. Now I'm not gonna reveal plot points, but I'm just gonna say that every thread in this show goes exactly where I thought it was going to go. I was not surprised by one single thing in this show. Starting with our two leads. They used to be together. Now they're apart. They try to pretend that they're not into each other anymore when and so they go off and do other things with other people, but it's just temporary until they find their way back to each other. You got the spoiled rich girl who starts out hating the African, he's not African American, but he's a black character, but he's a puck. Okay, so I guess, there's black and white pucks, whatever. And she, starts out the episode, the show hating him and ends up, getting done too, every way but loose with this guy and runs away, it's supposed to be, she sees past his goat antlers, his ram antlers or whatever, and she ends up with, going after him. Well, her brother is mad. There's an incest story that's trying to be Jaime and Cersei Lannister that you can see coming a mile away. And the bad guy, the one that's controlling the Gollum, you think it's going to be a surprise person, but it's really the person who's been pulling the strings from the beginning. There is no mystery. It's like the person that you expect it to be when you think, oh, well, maybe it's, maybe they just have this one thing going on. No, it's the same person. It's the same person. You spent 8 episodes to find out it's the same person. Jared Harris's character starts to come around, right? And I go, oh, okay, cool. This is the Jared Harris I like to watch, not some fool that he starts out in this episode, just getting played from all sides. But he's like Robert Baratheon, man, where he just it's too little too late for him. And the whole, there's a secret kid, a person that's actually a secret royal blood, kind of like fucking Game of Thrones. Who's this and who's that? It's all really obvious, and the moral messages are beating you over the head. Like I said, you can watch these same messages in other better shows, and it's they're setting up for season 2, and I am not interested. I am not interested at all. And if you like it, man, that's fine. It's like I said, it's not the worst thing I've seen all year. It's not the best. It would not. It would probably make my worst list of things that I've seen, but it's not the worst thing I've seen. It's like I said, it looks great. Some of the acting is good, But the predictability, the cliche, the over-the-top melodrama, the hitting us over the head with morality tales that are relevant today that we can see in every other show out there, and it's the characters aren't interesting to watch. They're not interesting. Jared Harris gets a little interesting near the end, but they waste that. They completely waste it. And so I don't think I really spoiled too much, except to tell you like the plot points that go certain places. Like, what else is in here? Like a bad guy that turns kind of good, but is also kind of it's really trying to become Game of Thrones, guys. And while it may have showrunners that aren't looking to run out the door, this is like if Greg Berlanti was trying to make Game of Thrones and was able to throw in lots of nudity, sex, and occasional gore, which even you don't even really see like a lot of violence. A lot of it is like after the fact, or you see some people react to violence and things like and the werewolf story kind of is doesn't really nothing really happens except for like earlier in the show where these almost hairless like werewolves are there. It's just not that great. And if you're on the fence, if you weren't sure about it, look, I mean, if you don't care, if you're just into fantasy and you just don't care, then you'll get what you want. But I got to be more discerning, and I'm glad that I checked it out because now I know I don't have to go back to it ever again. And so that's it. And at this point, if you liked this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, blah blah blah. This is Robin Smirking Gun Review saying I'm gonna go watch The Dark Crystal and see if that's any good. So have a great day, everybody. Peace out.